Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I'm doing really good. I was just listening to my audiobook. I've listened to like an hour of it, and I was going to listen to like another hour of it, and then I was like, you know what, I think I'm going to vlog first. I probably won't vlog for very long tonight. You know, I always say that, and then I go longer. But I probably really won't, because the last couple nights have been longer. And so I'm going to vlog, and then I'm going to go back to listening to my audiobook before I go to bed. I really would like to finish it. I'm listening to Columbine. I would really like to finish it tomorrow, Tuesday at the latest. And then I want to finish on the come up this month. And then the live stream for Columbine is next Sunday. So if you want to participate in that, come over. And the YouNow link is listed below, but I'm having a conversation with my YouNow manager this week, so I don't know, I'm going to ask her if I can do the live stream for the book club on YouTube. It might be easier just to keep it on YouNow. I don't know what I think about that. People are kind of used to it now. So anyway, happy belated Easter. Hope you guys had a great Easter. We had a good Easter. Alex and I slept in today, and then poor guy, his allergies are just killing him, and I'm having allergy like headaches, and I'm real congested, but other than that I feel pretty good. Like, Alex is just really worn out, and his medicine makes him a little groggy, so he was kind of groggy today. And I got a cream soda, you guys, because apparently you could have, like, I was watching all these Optavia videos earlier. I don't know if it's Optavia or Optavia. I'll have to ask Alex, but, and this one woman that I was watching, she was like, you can have one diet soda a day as long as it has, like, no carbs and no something else, but you have to drink all your waters or something. I thought I wasn't able to drink any kind of soda whatsoever, and I'm sure it's probably still not healthy for me too. I mean, diet soda is horrible for you, I do know that. But I was like, well, if I have to have a soda, I can at least have my diet soda. So I won't be drinking soda anymore. So I was like, well, what's something that I really like that I won't be able to have? And I was like, I like cream soda, and I haven't. So I got a big Faygo, Faygo cream soda, which I haven't had in quite some time. But I do have to say it tastes really delicious. What's really funny is, like, Big Red, like, you know, red cream soda is kind of like too much for me, and this is like not. Like, this is perfect. I don't like the Jones cream soda. I used to get it because I like the bottles, but I don't think it tastes as good as this. When I was a little kid, I loved cream soda. Yeah, I was watching some people's videos on, like, how they were successful on it and all this kind of stuff, and I'm real excited about it, but I'm, like, kind of, I'm not, like, Alex said to me today, he was like, are you excited? And I go, I am excited about it. I go, like, I'm like, ready to do it. And I said, it'll probably be here, like, Monday or Tuesday, don't you? And he goes, well, you know, you'll get an email saying that they shipped it. And I go, oh, I haven't gotten an email yet. And, he was like, well, when did we order it? And I was like, I thought we did it on Wednesday. Maybe we did it on Thursday. He said Friday. I was like, no, it wasn't Friday. So anyway, because if we did it on Friday, I would have announced it Friday or yesterday's vlog. I think it was, maybe it was Thursday. I don't know. But, ordered the food. So anyway, I haven't gotten any emails saying that it's been shipped yet. But I'm kind of, like, ready to start it. Yeah. Because I've been just, like, eating like crap. Because I know that I'm going to start it, which is not healthy. I know that. Like, I'm not stupid, but I mean, it's very much like the alcoholic that drinks everything they can possibly drink before they're going to quit. You know what I mean? It's very unhealthy. I know that. But anyway, that's going to be this week sometime. So I'm excited about that. And I have my appointment with my trainer tomorrow. So I'm excited to talk to her about it and see what she thinks as far as me doing that. She was real supportive when I went in there before. She was like, yeah, I don't really know much about it, but, you know, anything that's going to give you some structure. And it's not like I'm planning on doing it forever, you know what I mean? So, we'll see. I'm not going to talk a lot about it until I actually get on it and I have an opinion about it. But we got up today, and then we kind of just hung out in bed, and we got up, and it was just a nice late morning. We slept in. It was just nice. And then we got ready, and we went over to Caroline's house today, and it was Alex and I, Caroline and her husband and her son, and then her stepson and his wife. And it was just fun. It was nice. It was real laid back. Caroline's husband cooked out big cheeseburgers on the grill. So they all had cheeseburgers, and then Caroline made pasta salad, but it had bacon in it. She kept on asking Alex, she was like, I know you can't eat cheeseburgers. She was like, but could you eat the pasta salad with bacon in it? And I was like, no, Caroline. And she kept on looking at Alex, and she goes, is Peter, like, he really is a vegetarian? And Alex is like, yes, Caroline, he's really, well, first he goes, he's a carbitarian. And I go, Alex, and he goes, well, you are, because everything you eat has so much carbs in it, which is so true. But, I mean, I am a vegetarian. I'm just not a healthy vegetarian, which I don't have any problem claiming that. I know that to be true. So, anyway, but Caroline was like, well, I'm really impressed. And I was like, well, do you not remember the last 2 times that we've been here? Like, I couldn't eat. And she was like, I know. She was like, I don't know why she was like, I just thought differently or something. So anyway, she's like, well, I'm really sorry, because there was really, like, nothing for me to eat. I had, like, on my plate for dinner was half a corn on cob, because he had made, like, little corns of cob. Is that what you would say? Little cobs of corn. Little corns of cob. Little cobs of corn. And then I had chips. And then I had some coleslaw, and I didn't love the coleslaw. But then she had like a bunch of cheese and crackers and stuff, and we were sitting outside, Caroline and I and Alex and her stepson's wife. The 4 of us sat on, Caroline has a screened-in patio that's really nice. It's super cute. We sat out there for like an hour and talked, and Alex and I just like gorged on cheese and crackers. And then after dinner, Caroline had this adorable Easter cake from Taylor's Bakery. It was like the ones my aunt used to get, and it was an Easter bunny. So I had 2 pieces of cake. Oh my God, but I did. I had 2 pieces of cake, and it was so good. So yeah, not super healthy day. And the cheeseburgers, I have to say, looked delicious. They were huge. On the way home, I had to get dog food for the dogs, so I got some hummus and some cheese, and then I got home and realized I had almost no crackers left for the hummus and cheese, so I didn't really eat that much, but when I got home. And then after dinner, we kind of like sat around in front. We played a game of cornhole, or bags, I don't know what you guys call it, and that was fun. I'm so congested, you guys, from my allergies. I've had really bad headaches, too, because of it. Not like migraines, but like headaches. And then Caroline put, like, she brought out all of, like, the, you know, what do you call it? The, you know, the not yard chairs, lawn chairs, but they're, like, the kind that you take to, like, you know, the park or 4th of July or something. She put those in kind of like a semicircle in the driveway, and we all sat there and we shot basketball hoops, and it was fun. It just was a really nice day. We stayed there till like almost 9 o'clock, and it was just such a beautiful day. It's 48 degrees right now, and it said 46 degrees earlier, but it was like mid to upper 60s all day today. It was really, it was a nice Easter, you know? It was just slow and calm. It was perfect. And we were going to stop by and see the kids and take the baskets over earlier. I think Alex had planned on doing that, and then I asked him like what they were doing today, and he said they were at the zoo. So we didn't go over there. And then on the way home, Alex was so tired. He said the kind of allergy medicine that he's taking now is just making him really, really, really tired. And so he was like, he fell asleep in the car on the way home. It was kind of cute. And then we got home, and then he helped me with the dogs. He like took them out while I was getting their food ready. And then when I was feeding, like when I put the plates down, I guess he gave Boo and Tucker their food, and I gave Pee-Pee his, because Pee-Pee wasn't really wanting to eat tonight. He was being real stingy with his food. Not stingy with his food, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, so since we started giving Pee-Pee those new treats, all he wants to eat is the new treats. He's like obsessed with the new treats. Before, we gave him just kind of like, these must be like, I mean, they were more expensive, but they were like higher end. They do seem like higher end treats. And I don't know how they taste differently to him, but I'm telling you, this dog is obsessed. Obsessed with these treats. And he literally comes over, because we always feed him like right there, like if I film the vlog in the kitchen, you know, that's like where we like give him the treats, and Pee-Pee will come over and he'll just stand there and just go, "Arr, arr." And I'm like, Pee-Pee, no, we're not, you just had a treat 2 minutes ago, we're not having another treat. And then he'll go, "Arr, arr," like, you better give me a treat. And I'm like, no. So when they were all eating, he like walked over to his food tonight, and he like looked at it and kind of snubbed it, and then he like walked over and he goes, "Arr, arr," and I'm like, I want a treat, I don't want this food. And I was like, Pee-Pee, you have to eat your food. He's so funny. And he just stood there, and then he was like, he does this thing where he like with his feet, and like he like rattles us, like, so anyway, on the floor, and he like, and I'm like, no, you need to eat your dinner. And he goes like that, and I go, Pee-Pee, you need to eat your dinner. And Alex goes, if you laugh, he's gonna think it's a joke, and he's not gonna take you seriously. So then Alex went upstairs, or he was, while I was dealing with all that. And then he like got into bed upstairs, like, so I could hear him like, he could hear him like take off his clothes and turn the light off. And I was like, Pee-Pee won't eat his dinner. And he was like, just put it up and put it in the fridge and come back down in 10 minutes and he'll eat it. Because like if we take it away, then he thinks we're not gonna like, you know, let him have his food. So apparently then he eats it. Because he wasn't eating it. He just kept on like walking by it like, I don't want that. So, I was like, God. Oh, Pee-Pee. So anyway, I did that, and I came back down like 10 minutes later, and because I went upstairs and I put on like comfy clothes, and I came back down like 10 minutes later, and he still wouldn't eat his food. So I was like, okay, whatever. Oh, no. So at the second time that I came down, I was worried that he wouldn't eat his food, and we had a little bit of chicken left, frozen chicken, from when the last time that we had given them like chicken and rice. So I microwaved some up, like a cup of it up, or half a cup, and I put it on top of his food. I kind of mixed it in, and so then he ate, but he would only eat the chicken that was like in big clumps on top of it. He wouldn't eat his food. Like the chicken that was like mixed in with his food, he wouldn't eat it. So I was like, okay, so that's when then I put it up again, and then we went upstairs. I was like, okay, if you don't want to eat, you don't want to eat. You'll eat tomorrow because you'll be hungry. So we went upstairs and got the dogs all in bed, and then Alex was like already asleep by the time that I got up there after that. And I was like, it is kind of warm in here. I turned the heat down, then I got cool in here. So, I set my alarm for like an hour and a half, and I was like, I'm gonna lay down for an hour and a half. Oh, I ate my cheese and hummus sometime in there too, like after I fed him the first time, and then I went upstairs for like 10 minutes and came back down. That's what I did. But anyway, I laid down for like an hour and a half, and when I woke up, the dogs were like all over me. They wanted to go out. I think they were just really ready to play. So, I took them outside. It was a beautiful evening, even though it's, you know, took them outside. Why is it getting warmer? It's weird. Now it says 52. But took them outside, and then brought him back in, and then I gave PB his medicine, and then I gave him his food, and I sat on the floor in the kitchen with him, because I wanted to see if he would eat, and he, like, ate all of his food. He, like, ate it all up. So, took him back upstairs, got him into bed. Boo Radley licked the plate. My life of dogs. Oh my God. Did I talk about this? I think I already talked about this. That movie that was called like Dogs or Pets or something about the dogs that live in their masters. I think I talked about this last night. I don't know why I can't get that movie out of my head. It was so cute. But anyway. And that was our Easter. It was real nice. It was just real laid back, you know. And then tomorrow I have my training. This week starts me going twice a week. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about having kind of like, I don't know, like a structure to all of this and a plan, you know? She said at first, because I was like, how many extra days do you want me to come in the gym, you know? And she was like, well, I think just like one extra. We're not going to really push it at first, you know? And then like we can add a day and, you know, maybe next month or something. So I was kind of like in my head trying to figure out like what would be my third day. But I also thought like, instead of just going there and doing cardio, I mean like, I could get my butt off the couch and start walking, you know. I could walk around the neighborhood. We have a really nice neighborhood to walk in, you know. Not just ours, but out past it as well. I mean, it wouldn't hurt me to actually get outside and walk, you know what I mean? I used to run outside back in the day. And maybe I'll, you know, as I start losing weight, get back into that. And then, yeah, I could listen to my audiobook or whatever. So, so that's this week. That's exciting. I don't really have a lot going on this week. Caroline and I were talking about, so my cousin Caroline, for her birthday this year, I've already talked about like our age differences and everybody knows how old I am, so but I'm not trying to like do that to Caroline on my thing, because I know you don't talk about people's ages, but anyway, for her birthday this year, which will be a big one, I mean, it's like anybody could figure it out. I've always talked about our age differences, but anyway, we were talking about going to Vegas maybe, because Caroline's stepson has never been to Vegas. And so we were like, we should all go, like the three of us as couples, and that would also be like our anniversary week, right? In August. And so we could go like to a Thursday through a Monday. And I looked at the rates, and the rates are actually really, really good. But we have been talking about going to visit Fufu and his girlfriend for our anniversary or that week. So I know everybody told us not to go in July because of whatever convention. But I think what we might do is do a long weekend in July in San Diego and a long weekend in August for our anniversary. If we could swing it. I looked at Caroline and I said, you know this is never going to happen. We're never going to get this trip planned. She goes, no, I really do. I want to go to Vegas. Let's do it. I go, you're not going to go to Vegas. You know you're not. Like, you'll say this out here today, and then we'll never plan it. She goes, oh, no, we should do it. It'll be a lot of fun. I was sitting there, I was like, well, I'm thinking to myself, whether you do or not, we'll go to Vegas and we'll have a lot of fun. So, I don't think we need to go for a week. You know, we went for a week last year and that was really nice, but that was for our 10-year. You know, I think to go for a Thursday through a Monday or something like that would be just fine. That's actually kind of a long time even in Vegas. You don't really need that long in Vegas. But we can see Alex's cousin, and yeah, it'd be fun. Melissa and Jason are going out there to see Lady Gaga. I think they're going in July. I'm not sure when they're going. Melissa told me that they are definitely going to Ultra next year. They had so much fun that they're going back to Ultra next year with us. So that'll be fun. But we can start planning that, you know. Missed my mom and my aunt today. It was kind of hard a little bit. I don't know, it was weird. Sometimes being around Caroline brings that out for me because, you know, Tanya knew my mom. And, but not well. I mean, she met her a couple times. Well, I mean, more than a couple times. But we spent a couple holidays. One year, my mom and I and my ex, we did 4th of July with Tanya and her husband, and we got picnic, and we went downtown and watched fireworks and everything. And then Tanya, when my mom was sick, in between the times that she was in the hospital, she would come over with me at night, and we would sit there and joke and laugh with my mom. And I remember one night, it was real nice. My mom used to have this huge California king bed, and I was like sitting in that black chair and ottoman in the corner, and Tanya just kind of laid on the side of the bed and was talking to my mom, and the window was open, and it was so nice. My mom, Tanya had a easy way of talking to my mom during that, you know, like I can remember her like asking my mom questions, and my mom kind of like talking to her. I think sometimes it's easier to talk to somebody you don't know real well, you know. I mean, like my mom knew that Tanya was my best friend and stuff like that, but I thought there was like a guy standing out there in the middle of the road. I was like, what is going on there? One of the things, there's like so many little details in this Columbine book that totally stand out. And one of the ones that was like really weird to me was that Dylan Klebold was kind of obsessed with the movie Lost Highway by David Lynch. I am a super huge fan of David Lynch's movies. Wild at Heart is probably one of my all-time favorite movies of life. Lost Highway, I would say, is not one of my favorites. I kind of feel like I need to go back and watch some of them. Mulholland Drive I like, but they're all so weird. They're so, so weird. My mother loved David Lynch's movies. She loved Mulholland Drive. And, but it was weird when I heard that in the book, and he was like, something about like that, especially because Lost Highway, if you've never seen it, there's this one scene in it when this guy's at a party, and the guy's like, I'm here and I'm at your house right now. And he goes, what? And he goes, I'm here, but I'm also inside your house right now, or something like that. It's like, it's just so weird. Lost Highway is so bizarre. And then, recently, I just watched, I talked about it on here. It stopped. I didn't even see it stopping. That it stopped. But anyway, I was talking about David Lynch and all that. But I recently, and I think I talked about it on here when I was vlogging, because I can remember, I can almost remember talking about it, that I watched the 25th, I don't know, whatever you would call it, reunion series of Twin Peaks, which was so well done, and so weird, but so well done. I think it was on Showtime. I think he did the movie The Straight Story too, that was with Sissy Spacek, about the guy, and it was like nothing, like I think he was nominated for an Academy Award for that. It was like nothing like he had ever done before, and it was the guy that like got on his riding lawnmower and like traveled like 3 states or something. Did you guys ever see that movie? It was really good. maybe I'll try to watch some movies this week that I wanted to watch. I was like looking through cable, like on all the free movies, and there were like all of these movies that I've wanted to see that I've never seen, and I was like, you know, like that movies will be in the movie theater, and I'll be like, oh, I want to go see that, and then they'll come out on like the Redbox or, you know, on demand, and I'll be like, oh, I want to see that, and then now they're for free on cable, and I'm like, I never saw it, you know what I mean? It happens all the time, and I was like going through there, and I was like looking, I was like, oh, I want to see this, and I want to see that, and I want to see this. I need to maybe like start watching like one movie a week. I started Grace and Frankie. I have to honestly say, like, I love that show. I'm just not that into it. I mean, I don't even know when I started it, like a month ago or something, or longer than that, I feel like. And I watched like 2 or 3 episodes of it, and I just really wasn't that into it. Caroline and I were watching talking about documentaries tonight, and but she doesn't watch like the same ones that I watch. Her son graduates this May. We were talking about this into May, and it's weird to think. So she was telling us about the open house they're gonna have and going to the graduation. She's like, you don't have to go. I said, Caroline, I'm going to the graduation. And I said, I don't know if Alex will want to go. Alex is like, yeah, I want to go too. And so she was telling us when it is. And I was like, oh, that'll be fun. And I was like, are you guys doing anything afterwards? She's like, no, we're just going to go to the I said, you're not going to do anything afterwards. Why don't we just like order pizzas or something? I said, I'll buy the pizzas. She was like, well, we could come back here and have a little dinner afterwards. And I said, yeah, I mean, you have to do something, Caroline. Like, come on. She's like, well, we're having the open house the following week. And I said, okay. I said, what's your point? She goes, well, maybe we could have Mike cook or something. I said, or we could just get pizzas. If you don't want to cook, I said, I can get pizzas for, you know, David's graduation. It's not that big of a deal. She's so funny. What a nice evening. It's like so still outside. See the stars. Anyway, like I was saying, like, it's, you know, when I'm around Caroline, I think more about like my mom and my aunt and uncle, just because she's kind of like my connection to all of that. But you know, I just, like, unless a story comes up with Alex, I just don't really think about it, you know? And Caroline will talk about them, but I can tell that she doesn't like to do it. I wouldn't say that she doesn't like to, I don't know. She's kind of like, well, like if I bring up something, she kind of just doesn't really say a whole lot, you know? And like every once in a while, like I'll be like, oh, where did you get that? And she'll be like, oh, that was Mom's or something like that, you know? Or like, or should say, you know, like at the end, Dad, like we were talking tonight about like friends of ours that we know whose parents are like not sick and they're older and they just like, you know, complain a lot and whatever. And Caroline was like, you know, Dad was so sick at the end. She was like, he couldn't do anything. And she was like, you know, then I have friends of mine. And so she'll like tell stories like that. But like if I say to her like, oh, like I said to her in the kitchen, like I put my arm around her and I was like, our moms loved Easter so much. And she was just like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like she doesn't really want to have a conversation about, do you remember all those Easter? You know what I mean? And I get it. You know, I totally understand. I don't know why. I'm that person. It was so funny because what did she say to me tonight? She said, I hate to tell you, but you just sounded exactly like your mother. We were sitting at the dinner table. What did I say? I was going to share it on here because I thought you guys would think it was funny. She said, you sounded just like your mom. Oh, we were talking about Mrs. Birdie because Alex was telling them about Mrs. Birdie at dinner. And she had such a nice table setting. It was so pretty. Caroline's just like her mom in that. Like, they always had she had all these like antique Easter eggs. It was just beautiful in the middle. So anyway, And she like little candles and stuff. But anyway, so Alex was talking about Mrs. Birdie and telling them about my upset. He goes, he's extremely attached to her. So Alex was asking today, like, well, what do we do, like, once she's had her babies? Which I'm starting to get a little worried that Mrs. Birdie hasn't had her babies. I mean, I don't know when eggs hatch by. I thought she was going to have them. Okay, so this is how the whole thing started. So we were walking out to the car today, and Alex goes, and I looked up at her, and I said, hi, Mrs. Birdie, because she's, of course, up there 24 hours a day. And Alex just started laughing, and I go, what's so funny? And he goes, like, you just, like, talk to her like she's a person. And I go, okay, well, whatever. And I said, and I guess I said it, like, real seriously, but I said, I thought she was going to have her babies today. And he goes, what? We were, like, getting in the car. I was, like, starting the car. And I said, I thought she was going to have her babies today. And he goes, why today? And I go, I don't know. And he goes, you thought she was going to have her babies today because it was Easter. I said, I just thought it would be like a nice day to have her babies because it's Easter Sunday, you know? He thought it was so hilarious. So he was telling the story, but then he was asking, like, seriously, he was like, okay, like, so she has her babies, then how long until, like, we can take the nest down and we can, like, turn on our carriage light again and clean up the front porch? Because Alex is like, I don't want these birds coming in and out and pooping everywhere. He was like, then we're going to have all this bird poop all over our front walk. And he was like, I just don't want it. I said, we cannot move the nest right after she has her babies. I said, they have to learn how to fly. And he goes, okay. And so we're telling this story, and Caroline's like laughing. She's like, and I go, what's funny? And she goes, and I guess I got real serious about it. And she goes, she was like, I just think, you know, blah, 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 whatever, that you thinking about these birds. And I go, Caroline, I said, like, it is serious, and I don't want the babies to, like, not, you know how to, I mean, if we touch them, then their mother will not come back. And, I said, it is kind of serious or something. She looked at me and she goes, you sound just like your mother right now. I just want you to know that. And I go, oh, okay. And I started laughing. So her son has real long hair and, like, a beard and stuff, and he's real, like, he's into these bands, and he is so, like, my group of friends in high school. Caroline was so popular and stuff, and she totally embraces it. Like, she loves it that he's so different and stuff. But, you know, he's like a drummer, and he's into all these bands that I have never even heard of before. Today he had on, like, a t-shirt from some band. I can't remember what it was, but he loves, like, those, like, very Nashville independent sounding bands. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like, he's really into all that, and he's a very earthy kid. He's just a really cool kid. So anyway, we were in the kitchen, and she said something, and I was telling him, I said, you know, oh, and this is so funny. We were taking family pictures out front, and so we were like posing, and David said, make sure that everybody gets that smirk just like Peter gets. He goes, do it for the wolf pack. I was like, you're such an ass. So anyway, but so Caroline and I were standing in the kitchen with Alex and David was, like, walking away. I was asking him, he's going to prom with his girlfriend, and I was asking him, like, was he excited about going to prom and stuff? He's like, yeah, I actually am kind of excited about it. It'll be really fun. And he was telling me about his tuxedo, which is, of course, something, like, real different out there. You know, it's just not the normal tuxedo. Because he's not. He's just, like, really, my mother, oh my God, she would love that he turned out this way. You know what I mean? That he was so just independent and, you know, individual and, you know, authentic. She would love that. And I just, one of the things I will say is that, you know, as I think, like, my aunt was very Chanel, St. John kind of suit, kind of, you know, she was somebody that loved you where you were. So it didn't matter if you walked in, I mean, and you had, you know, purple hair, or, you know what I mean? Like, she didn't care. She just did not care. She loved you for who you were. And if you were happy in who you were, she loved that. And my mom was some like that. My mother was somebody that she did embrace her differences. And so she was very, like, you know, her style just changed a lot. And, I don't know where the both of them got that from, but they just loved differences in people, you know, all kinds of differences in people. So, But anyway, Caroline made some, like, David started walking away, and she said, she looked at me and she goes, his hair's so long. And I go, what? And she said, I just wish, you know, she goes, I just wish that he would, she goes, he looks so nice, but she's like, I just wish that he would get his hair cut and, like, trim up his beard or something like that. And I said, Caroline, I go, just to let you know, right now, you sound exactly like your mother. Because, like, okay, so, like, our mothers were very accepting of everybody else except for us. Have I told this story on here before? Yes. So, like, Caroline could do, like, Caroline's friends could be whatever, but, like, Caroline, her mother was very critical of her. And my mother was very critical of me, you know, at times and stuff. So, I can remember I would say that to my mom. I'd be like, you love that my friends are so different and stuff. She's like, well, I'm not their mother and it's different. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, I'm not their mother. So, like, you know, like, sometimes I worry about you, that you're going to be, you know, ostracized for doing this or doing that. Now, that's the kind of stuff that my mother, she would say. My mother was, I wouldn't say super critical with me. The only time that I really, really remember her being super critical with me is I came downstairs, and the night before, I was in high school, I was like a senior in high school, and she had gone to bed before I came home, and my friends and I, did you ever have, like, hair coloring parties back in the day? Okay, so my friends and I had been coloring our hair, and I think, like, 3 of us had, like, black hair at that point, and so my hair was literally, like, jet black, and I came down the stairs, and my mom looked at me, and she goes, you're not going to school that way. And I go, what? And she goes, are you going to go to school that way? She goes, your hair is like jet black, Peter. And I go, yeah, I am going to school this way. I was like the only time she ever said something to me like super critical like that. Sometimes she'd say to me like, okay, with school she didn't really care, but like if we were going to like to Easter today, so I wore like jeans and I wore these new Birkenstock sandals. I knew that today was going to be really like laid back. Back in the day for our holidays, my family got very, very dressy. Alex's family is kind of interesting. Like, Alex always dresses nice to whatever we go to. Of course, I try to. Alex's mom and grandma dresses very nice. Like, if it's just like the small family. Liliana will dress nice. The boys, they always dress as twins. Like in some kind of matching outfit. And Carlos has like basketball shorts on, a tank top, and like sandals. Which is funny. So, and then back in the day when Fufu lived here, it was just, you never knew. Like, you could walk in and he could have on a suit, or you could walk in and he would have on basketball shorts and a tank top or a t-shirt or something, you know? So, I always think it's interesting, like, everybody was kind of dressed nice today. And, but I wore, like, I had to check to see if I had it on. I had this, like, new blue polo, and, I wore that. It was actually one that I got for my trip that I didn't wear, so I wore that, and my jeans, and then the Birkenstocks I'm trying to break in, these blue leather ones. Like, my mom back in the day, she would have said, couldn't you wear khakis instead of jeans? Like, that's something that she would say to me. Do you always have to have your shirt untucked? They made that a rule where I worked, I remember, that we had to, like, tuck our shirts in. Like, I had been there forever. This is, like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 years into it. And we got, like, a new, like, administrator that, like, changed all the rules. She was, like a new clinical director, and she, like, changed all the rules. And she was like, what is going on with this shirt? It's not looking cute at all. You want to talk about insecurities, you know? I sit in this car in probably the most unflattering way every night and film myself and don't really care. And, you know, I have to say, like, probably 5 or 6 years ago, I would have been 100 times more apprehensive about it than I am now. Like, I don't think much about it like I used, you know, like I would have back in the day. I mean, I know I'm like this, hi, you know? But anyway, I remember I was so resistant to tucking in my shirt, and I wasn't even heavy at that time. That would have been a period of my life when I would have actually quite thin. And I also like used to have like a faux hawk, and like before a lot of people did, and it was kind of messy. I got so many compliments on it. It was like, I wish my hair would still do that. My hair, I would jump out of the shower and my hair would just like stand up straight like this. So anyway, it wasn't my immediate supervisor. She could give a rat's ass. She'd always say to me, you look so nice. You always have the cutest style. She was so really supportive of me. But her supervisor had said something about that I looked messy or something when I came to work. And my supervisor thought it was funny, and she said to her, like, what do you mean messy? And she was like, well, his hair, like, this woman was like quite a bit older. She was like, should have retired, but this was her last position, you know, that she got appointed to, and she was there 2 years, changed all the rules, and then left. If you work in organizations, you know exactly what I'm talking about, okay? They bring in a new CEO or a new chief financial officer, they bring in their own people, then they change all the rules, and then they leave. Did you ever have this? Okay, well, I was in the same organization for 13 years. It happened about 6-7 times while I was there. Maybe more than that, maybe 8 or 9. It would happen constantly. Like, they would bring somebody else in, the board would bring somebody else in, and then the person would be there, they would change all these rules, and then they would leave. And then we would change all the rules back, and then they would leave. We'd change all the rules again. It was just craziness, you know? Anyway, so she was like, can you just explain to her that this is like, you know, can you just sit down and explain to her that this is like the style that like people your age are wearing now and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I would have been like in my late 20s at this point. I was like, yeah, that's fine. So I sat down with her, and I was pretty well respected in this organization, like really respected. And so this new CEO, she liked me, but she just would see me, and the thing was that she would never say to me like directly, like, you know, like, hey, like, your hair looks a little messy or whatever, you know what I mean? It was bedhead. That's kind of how, like, that, when that generation, you know, was. So anyway, I remember we were sitting there, and I'd kind of done my research a little bit, and looked up some magazines, and looked up some people, and so we were sitting there, and she's like, you know, Peter, you always look nice. You always look, because we were very business casual there. And she's like, you're always business casual. You always look nice. She was like, you know, the families always say that they like love working with you and blah, 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 whatever. She was like, I just think that maybe your hair is not super professional. She was like, you know, do you think, and I was totally like, I would, at that point in my career, I would have done whatever I was asked, seriously. But like, I liked my hair, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really want to change it, but I would have changed it, you know? I wasn't opposed to that. And, but at the same time, I was like, you know, I think, like, sometimes we have to educate people on things. So I had, like, all these magazine clippings on these articles of these guys that were literally, like, CEOs of companies that had the exact same haircut as mine. And I'll never forget at the end of the little conversation, and my supervisor was sitting there, and she was actually, she kind of looked at me like she was kind of proud of me. I just thought I just heard it stop. And at the end of it, this CEO looked at me, and she said, you know, she goes, I'm really glad that you brought this forward. She goes, you know, maybe I need to start thinking about things in a different way. And I was like, yeah, no problem. So anyway, that was kind of how that all went down. My kind of go-to outfit every day was like button-downs. In the fall and in the winter, I wore a lot of sweater vests. And then Birkenstocks. We could wear, well, for a long time, we could just wear Birkenstocks. And then they changed that. And then we could wear clogs. So I would wear Birkenstock clogs because they were really comfortable. And, but a lot of button-downs, a lot of polo shirts, a lot of khakis. I had like khaki material, but like khaki pants, the color too. And then I had you know, blue pants, green pants, you know, all of that. And I dressed cute back then, but very kind of like, you know, Abercrombie, Old Navy, off the rack was very how I dressed. Have I ever shown you my name badges? I have them at home. I found them not too long ago. They have my, actually one of the pictures has my hair, like when it was like that. I think I might have shown it one time when there was all the questioning about whether or not I was a counselor, because right underneath there it says my name and then it says counselor right underneath there. But actually it has, so my name badge from back then, because that's what we would like swipe in with, and it also had, it has like a barcode on it. So where I worked, there were certain places, like we'd have a key to get into certain places, but then there was also places that you would swipe and the doors would open, and it had the swipe code on the back of it. So you would just like, when you clocked in, you would swipe it, and then it would get you into certain areas as well. But it actually has two name tags on it, because it has my old one and it has my new one, because when I got my new one, they just put it on the same thing and then sealed it, which I don't know why they did that, but they did. And I actually used to wear it on a lanyard with my keys. And I would wear it around my neck, and then I would just like, you know, if I had to get in like to medical records or something, I would go. Caroline had these pictures that she found, pictures of my aunt and my grandma from when my like aunt would have been like a senior in high school, or like, yeah. So my mom would have been 3 years younger. So my mom, well, 59, 60, 61. So wait, 59, 60, 61. So my aunt graduated in 59, my mom graduated in 61. And Caroline and I were like trying to figure it out then, like, stopped again. We were trying to figure out, you know, so like it would have been in that period somewhere that my aunt, or that my grandma went to prison. My grandma had like longer hair in this picture. It was kind of weird. I never knew my grandma would have longer hair. She always had like a short roller set. My grandma loved Easter too. I should do a documentary and call it Finding Grandma. And it would be about like going back to like all the places that my mom and my aunt, all the houses they lived in growing up. And then finding out like where my grandma worked when all that stuff went down, and you know, finding out, I don't even know how you would find the details on that stuff. Caroline said something to me a long time ago. She said, wouldn't you just love to spend one more day just with your mom, my mom, and grandma? And I was like, I remember thinking that would be really nice, but at the same time, it's like so weird because like my grandma passed away. I mean, it's been so long. I just like my image of her is just like her sitting on our porch with the dog. Like I don't, like that's all I remember. And her like staying overnight. And that's from when that was from like years before that even. I remember like sleeping in the apartment with Caroline and staying over there on the weekends, and but that was when we were really little, you know. I remember holidays, like sitting at the dinner table. My grandma did not like drinking. You know, and my mom's dad died when she was 4 from lung cancer, so I don't, like, all I ever heard was stories. But my mom was so young that she didn't really know him either, you know? And I kind of wonder if in retrospect he wasn't an alcoholic, which was why would make sense why my grandma didn't. She hated drinking. She hated it. My mom would always say, oh no, Grandma. Like, I would say, Grandma never drinks. No, she's a total teetotaler. Teetotaler is, you know, you guys know what that word is. But she wouldn't drink anything. She wouldn't have a sip of alcohol. She hated it. Which was funny because then later, my mom and I were talking about, like, Grandma always took cough syrup with this big spoon, and she would, like, take 2 big tablespoons of this codeine cough syrup. And I was like, do you think Grandma, like, was addicted to that stuff? Like, we had this whole conversation about it later, but she hated drinking. She hated it. And she didn't like when my mom and my aunt drank. So that was always an issue on holidays. Like, it always came up. And I remember one time my mom and my aunt got into some argument. They'd been drinking. I mean, if it was a holiday. I mean, if it was a Tuesday, they were drinking. No, but seriously. And they got into some argument. Why is it, like, so dark? I mean, can you guys not see me at all? You're like, we don't watch you anyway, we just listen to you. But my grandma started crying. I don't even know what it was, the argument or anything like that, but she just started crying at the dinner table. And she was like, girls, please stop. And I remember my mom later got really upset about it. But I always wondered if my grandfather he was an alcoholic. He was the head bartender at this bar here in Indianapolis that reopened like 10 years ago. And it's in an area called Fountain Square in Indianapolis that's like real artsy. It has all these like great restaurants and bars now and stuff. And if you live in Indianapolis and you've ever been to Fountain Square, the Thunderbird is where my grandfather was he was the head bartender back in the day. And it was like the first bar of its kind in Indianapolis. And like after my mom died, but before my aunt died, I found his wallet. My mom had his wallet and had information about because it was called the Thunderbird back in the day. It had his liquor license in there for bartending and his bartender's license or whatever. And then it had, or maybe that was the same thing. And then it had this thing in there about the Thunderbird. And he was a tennis player. He was like a really, really good tennis player. He played like state for his high school. And I remember people would always be like, well, maybe you got your tennis from your grandfather. And they have like letter pictures of him and stuff like that. And he was real tall. My grandma was really short. She was like 5 foot, and he was like not like 6'5", but he was like 6'1", 6'2", probably. So compared to her, I mean, they look like, you know, really, really short and tall, or he looked really tall compared to her. I feel like it's just like a whole like history that has been, I'm gonna turn around here. I feel like there's a whole just history that has been like lost because, I mean, we don't have anybody to ask those questions to anymore, you know? I think Caroline's kind of, that house is so cute over there. I think these houses way out in the country, I don't think I would ever want to live out here, but they are so cute. I sometimes wonder when I'm like driving out here though, like what would I do if I just saw somebody just like standing in a field, you know? Like Halloween or Children of the Corn. For a while, Caroline had a fascination in it. She doesn't really have that anymore. Or she doesn't seem to. We were talking about how she found our grandma's grave because we didn't know where it was. We knew what cemetery it was at, but we didn't know where it was. And she went to a funeral there with her mom a long time ago. And so when she was there, she went into the office and she said, can you give us directions to my grandmother's grave? And they like printed it out and gave it to her and stuff. And so she like emailed that stuff to me in case I wanted to go out there, which I haven't. And, but we talked about going out there someday together. I just don't have, I don't know, I just don't have the desire about I go through phases, you know, where I want to know everything, and then sometimes I just don't want to know anything. Sometimes it's kind of too much. I was talking to David today, and he was like, was like, have you seen all the Cardinals? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you know that, he goes, when your mom passed away, he was telling me the story of, I don't know if you guys remember, but I've told it on here before. So like, Caroline hadn't told him yet that my mom had passed away, and she brought him home from school. And he would have been 7 at the time. So, yeah, he would have been 7. So, because he's 18 now. It was 11 years ago. He would have been 7. So, when they were in the driveway, this bird flew down. It was like this very bizarre looking cardinal. And my mother loved cardinals. And this bird fell onto the car, and she was like, David, look, or like by the car or something. Look, David, look at that cardinal. Isn't that beautiful? And he was like, oh, I've seen it before. And she was like, what are you talking about? And he said that that this bird was from the lake where my mom lived. That my mom lived on this lake now. It was really weird. So today he was like, do you remember my mom telling you that? He's like, yeah. And he's like, I don't know where that ever came. He's like, I don't remember where that came from, but I really do believe that your mom and my grandma are cardinals. And he goes, and I like to think of Poppy as a rabbit. And I go, you do? Why? And he goes, because Grandma and Poppy used to call me Bunny or the Bunny Rabbit when I was a little kid. And he was like, I just think that he acted like a rabbit. He was like, so whenever I see cardinals and rabbits, I always just think of them, and it makes me happy. And I loved that. I thought that was so sweet. I think they all would be so proud of how he turned out. And I believe that they know, too, He and I got talking a little bit about the afterlife today. I love that when you drive out in the country and then all of a sudden there's just like a tree. Just like one tree just standing out in the middle of nowhere. All these fields are flooded. Like flooded because of all the rain that we've had recently. Just the whole field. It's just like, it looks like a lake. Well, listen, you guys, I think I'm going to get off here now and finish listening to my audiobook for the night. And I will be back tomorrow with more excitement than you can handle on Peter's Vlogs. Coming at you nightly. Coming at you nightly. Or morningly. Or afternoonly. Depending on when you watch it. Peter's Vlogs is with you 24 hours a day. Can you imagine a 24-hour vlog? Oh my God. Don't ask for that. Alright, listen, I am going to get off here now and go to my audiobook like I just said. I hope you guys are having a fantastic beginning to your week on Monday. I hope you're having a great Monday, unless you have other plans. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And let me know what your plans are for the week in the comment section. If you have made it this far, please put a little blue heart down there for the wolf pack. And, yeah, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.